All right, welcome back to the Manufacturer Alliance podcast. As always, I'm your host, Tony Demakis, and I work at Alliance Specialties and Laser Sales, and we specialize in everything that has to do with mold repair and finishing, from polishing, laser welding, engraving, hot runner manifold cleaning. You name it, we do it. We know that you need it faster now than ever before because things are pressing, and I'm happy that I have my good friend Glenn Starkey with me today from Progressive Components, and he is going to be able to tell us everything because he's the man that knows everything. How's that for an introduction?
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, none at all. How are you, my friend?
Good, all things considered. How about you?
I'm good for a rainy Wakanda Thursday. It's Thursday, right?
It is, but even though the weather outside is frightful, it's a beautiful day in Wakanda, Illinois, because here you and I
That's right. We
are
get to
on the
spend some
air
time together.
live. Are we on? Are we on right now? Or
We are live, and we are.
I know.
We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook, and I've got people that can ask questions through LinkedIn if they don't have a Facebook or a YouTube account. If you don't have a Google account or a Facebook account, I don't know how you're existing or watching this or caring. Any of those things.
Well, I'm glad you put this together. These are fun, and I was honored when you asked me. I think it's probably safe that we're both in like separate rooms. This isn't COVID related. It's just like too much energy in one room. There'd be like some white hot beam that would just then mess with the rotation of the planet,
take us up into the stratosphere, and it could possibly be bad, but we don't have to worry about that because we are all good in the same, in different spaces. And we did the video yesterday that I don't know if anybody saw it, but I thought that was great. I was so glad that you called me to do that.
We were goofing around. Yeah, we just figured, our two companies work together. So I just wanted to show something that I'm able to see as I spend my whole day looking out the window. No, just from our dock at Progressive, we can grab some ejector pins, walk on over to your place, cut the length, keyed pins. You guys can pop a detail on, coat it, polish it, everything, and it's all just like, so easy. Talk about an efficient supply chain. It's perfect.
It's a good working relationship. I know I appreciate it.
And then also you guys help us out with the system cooling manifolds and test rigs and everything. You help plumb those up for us and everything. So it's great. But more importantly than anything, I think we get a kick out of each other. I know that whenever I see at a show or anything, whenever I see at a show or an event, we're always just like, gee, our smile muscles hurt from smiling and everything and enjoying one another's like energy and company. And then we're like, yeah, too bad our companies aren't located near each other where we could get together in our whole camp. So it took a chat and chow.
It took a chat and chow, yeah.
For us to have lunch together.
Usually we have more time together when we're in Florida than we do in Wakanda, and it's like literally 3-minute walk.
Yeah, well, so we shot a video showing a kind of kitschy sort of video showing me walk over some ejector pins and say, "Here, Tony." And it's good to have a little bit of lightheartedness, but it's not lost on us the importance that we have in the supply chain and everything, but you might as well enjoy doing your job. So on this whole lunch thing, what are you doing for lunch right now?
I'm talking to you. The whole, the idea was like people sitting around a lunch table having lunch, but then I thought nobody wants to listen to. So that's for everybody else's well-being. I can wait an extra, 30 minutes to eat. And then I may actually go to Jewel and have some Jewel sushi or a rotisserie chicken today. I have not decided.
That's what you usually do, something that exotic?
Well, it's usually a smoothie, but I didn't bring any fruit today. So if I go to Jewel, I'm buying fruit, a rotisserie chicken, or Jewel sushi. You? What are you having?
I'm boring when it comes to food. Just whatever the basic need is. I've got my usual. This is my bunker. This is our war room, and I just heat up some Campbell's Healthy Choice soup. I've got a stash of a whole bunch of these brought to you by Campbell's. It's like all I look for is like that healthy thing, and then it's like maybe if I indulge, I'll do one of these or something.
Very nice.
And that's it. my good friend Wayne Sikorsson at Craftsman can tell you what the phase of the moon was when a particular morel mushroom was picked or something, and I'm just like, it's all lost on me. I'm the most boring eat
In fairness,
guy in the
eating
world.
must be the only thing you're boring at then.
Gee,
I mean, I've never seen anybody at a trade show break out the guitar and microphones and have a full-on concert for an after hours. So
well,
I don't call that boring. I call
well,
boring the guys that, like, sit in their chair all day at the trade show and look at their phone and don't even notice anybody walking by. So the opposite of a Glenn Starkey.
I don't know. Our whole team is trade show minded, so it's like some of our team takes photos of other exhibitors sometimes when they're at a show, maybe a small mold show someplace, and they say, check this out, people are playing Candy Crush or whatever.
Does it make you crazy when you see the pictures?
Oh, it makes it easier. It's like, if you're running a 100-yard dash and then the gun goes off and then everybody else is like sitting around and tying their shoes. It's like, so yeah. But yeah, no, shows are fun, and we like to have some positivity and fun to anything we can have. It's you gotta be serious about your plans and all, but but at the same time, enjoy life with your team.
Are you guys doing a Mold Connects?
Yes, we are.
Because that's in less than a month.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to it. We love the team there, Christina,
absolutely.
Ryan, Allison, Allie, everybody there is just so great to work with. So they're supportive. So Progressive's going to be ourselves. We're going to be all in.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing. And actually we're having Christina and Allie on what day is that? That is sorry, I should have prepped for that. The 5th, because it's the following week. So a last little push to see if any of the 15 people that watch this will join. So no, I love supporting
15. Yeah, I better be drawing better than that.
You are. This is we've got hi from the Wakanda Area Chamber of Commerce. Can't wait to share this link for the rerun. Weisbrook, M Weisbrook 64 on YouTube.
Yep.
So
that's the executive director of our. Well, we should give Wakanda's in the house. Okay, so some of our trade show friends, our industry friends, Wakanda Forever, they hear you and I, schlepping on Wakanda. We're in a little town for folks. We're in a little town on a little lake about 30 miles north of O'Hare. A little town, little lake, a lot of bars, a good, nice, clean, fresh Wakanda business park.
Yeah,
we're right in the Northern Illinois medical and packaging corridor. We all grew up with, Abbott molds and Baxter molds and Aptar and a million other OEMs and everything, and tier 1s and tier 2s, but it's a real neat little town. It's 14,000 people, and it's just the right size for a town. It's like, if it were,
I agree,
any smaller, you couldn't really do things. You couldn't do events. You couldn't do fundraisers. And if it were any larger, if it was just like some huge, then you couldn't be impactful. So for us, just with there's the Progressive hat on, and then Star Charities, which is a Progressive 501c3. We're able to hold the Wakanda Turkey Trot, the Wakanda Bunny Hop.
You guys do so much.
We love it. It's fun. It's a Saturday. It's a Sunday. It's have some fun with it. We're for 18 years or 20 years or something like that, we're the largest single source of funds to the Wakanda Food Pantry. And then this whole thing that we're in now has called us to really be a part of a ramp up of our food pantry, because we don't want to have a food crisis, in our town. So
is there an issue there with the food pantry? Right now?
No, it's good. It's just, just look at all the lines of the food pantry usage on the East Coast. So then, the team at the food pantry is saying it's coming,
Yep.
Hopefully it doesn't, but hopefully, it'll pass. But if it does, we'll be ready. So
James Williams says, "Go Bulldogs, class of 2008."
Wakanda strong.
Wakanda strong. That's right. I mean, how many times when Black Panther came out, how many times did people go, "Is it like Wakanda, like the movie?"
Kinda, sorta, but not.
I always tell people that it's the opposite, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's less technology and more white people.
Okay. I don't know.
I mean, there's no technology like in the movie. So that's
Right.
fair. And
Yes.
and then in that movie there was one white guy. I'm not saying it as a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not exactly like the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess different towns settle in and grow the way different towns settle in and grow. And this has always been a party town. We're midway between Chicago and Lake Geneva, and Lake
Yep.
Geneva is just like a party spot for folks if they don't know.
Yep.
And we're right in between. So I mean, in the 20s and 30s and such, like gangsters would be on their way to their Lake Geneva cottages, and they'd stop in Wakanda. Growing up as a little baby, my toes touched the water of Bangs Lake when I was a half a year old. My dad owned a mold shop, and his company picnic would be at Phil's Beach here in Wakanda,
Which is
and
coming back.
which is coming back. It was closed
If
down for
anybody
insurance
gets to use
purposes.
it, we'll see, but
Yeah,
it's
well,
coming back.
we're privy to where that's going, and it's going to be great. And so yeah, the whole vibe of the town is a real recreational sort of town.
Yeah.
It's kind of unusual if you don't have a fishing boat parked in your driveway. It's like, what's up with that?
I feel like we're a great distance from Chicago. I like Chicago for like Blackhawks games and food occasionally, but if I don't have to go down there, I'm kind of okay. And we're far enough away, but close enough where it's easy to get to.
Well, also the proximity to O'Hare,
Yes.
so we can live in this, fun, and we're surrounded by forest reserve,
Yep.
so Banks Lake is clean as can be. It doesn't have any, chemical runoff or anything. And so we're in this, this happy little land, but then bam, you can get to, a flight at O'Hare, and then, direct anywhere, or, anywhere, Hong Kong, Dusseldorf, it's a major hub. So yeah, it is a bit of the best of all worlds. But people probably don't want to hear. They're probably going like, I'm sick of Wakanda. So
Are you enjoying? I know it's a big difference in your schedule to be home this long. Are you enjoying the break from travel?
um, let's see. Well, let's talk roles.
Sure.
In my company, I'm really lucky. I've got uh, you know an incredible partner in every way. So Don Starkey. And the advice to presidents of companies would be like, if you go to Vistage, or you go to, a MAP conference, or you go to presidents forums or anything, they say you should be working on your business and not in your business. And what I'm lucky is that Don, works on the business, and then I can just work in the business. So whether I'm traveling, that's one thing. I'm working with suppliers, working with customers and such. But really, right now with my role, it's engineering, product development, and then sales and marketing. So right now, this bunker is the best place to be. It's almost like a gamer, a kid that
Yeah.
goes down to the basement, and then till 11 o'clock at night or till 3 in the morning is in a zone with the headphones and everything. I mean, here it's just like we've got the monitors set up, and we've got conference calls scheduled, and then we've got uh, impactful time. So no, actually, it's very efficient for my role in product development and for the marketing aspect. This bunker is the best place to be. So.
Yeah, because I agree with you. I find that the traveling is nice at times. Getting to see customers and shake hands and kiss babies and get out there and see what other people are doing and other environments, the trade shows, all that stuff is good. But when you can just kind of focus in and narrow your target, you can be so much more productive.
Yeah, it's not an either or. I always joke this is an imitation of me when I'm at a trade show, or when I'm on the road and I'm talking to customers. It's just like super exciting and super informative. But right now, we're all just reconfiguring stuff.
Yeah.
I find if it was a drinking game, would take a shot every time that I say the word reconfigure. It would be the prep that I had to this meeting.
Middleton's. Yeah,
so so
it's
anyways, what else is going on with your role in your life and your
yeah. So
time? How's
I'm really focusing on marketing the brand right now and pushing that more than ever, because if we can't go out and physically see people, I want to connect as much as possible this way. And so I'm trying to bombard social media with everything branding. Um, and just make sure that people know what we are and who we are, right? You've challenged me in a good way to say, you do a great job with marketing, but do people really understand what you do? And that, I love that you challenge me that way, because I don't know. And I, aside from hitting them over the head with it over and over again, I think it's got to be a kind of a slow maturing. The thing that makes me the craziest, we go to a trade show and somebody goes, "When did you start polishing?" I'm like, what?
Yeah, the old adage, I think it's like 80 years old or something. The old adage that half of my marketing budget is wasted. I just don't know which half.
Yeah.
So, and then, I think of you with the Tom Peters quote, screw around vigorously, just try stuff. And
Yeah.
so yeah, if anything, this time, my answer would be the same as yours. At this time, just try different stuff, because certain channels are shut down,
Right.
So
Right.
so it's like, okay, well, how do we get our message out that, if you're currently, buying these items from us, did you know that we
Right.
also have these other things that go along with it? So it's on us, you know. Um,
Absolutely.
so that's what we're doing in the same way. And then we're also developing. We're developing products. We've got a great engineering team. So nothing is. If anything, things are accelerated right now with what our engineering team is working in product development. We're
We're
excited about Amerimold because we love rolling out some goodies.
Yeah.
But we still will. But then we're looking at we're hoping that some momentum begins at MD&M in Anaheim in February of 2021, because then that'll pave the way towards NPE in May. So that's what we're working towards, and looking at things in phases ahead, stages ahead. You're a triathlon guy, right?
I I will say I have done them. I've done multiple triathlons. But when I decided to come to Alliance full time, there was just no time to do the training that I was doing before.
Excuses.
When it was like on average, probably 30 hours of training a
Oh, I
week.
know.
And I don't like to suck at things. So to continue doing them and being worse would have hurt my precious ego a little bit.
I've done I've done little tri sprints and stuff, but you triathlon guys are crazy. That's a crazy thing. So I've got my Bank of America Chicago Marathon.
When's the last marathon you did?
I retired 3 years ago. I did 22 of them altogether, and then
Okay.
I said, before my knees burst into flames or something, I'm gonna just it wasn't fun anymore. It was just kind of like going through the motions and just do other stuff. So I got converted to the Orange Theory fitness
Yeah.
world. Like your Planet Fitness, right?
I'm Planet Fitness because it's $20 a month and it's
Yeah,
everywhere. It's the frugal buy.
yeah. Well, we've been back to trade shows in a weird sort of convergence of topics. A lot of people are saying right now that what we're in with all of this
Yeah.
isn't a sprint; it's a marathon.
Sure.
And then what I've connected with our management team here at Progressive, I say it's not a marathon. It's a try.
Right. Because
Where
you got to get through each section, right?
right now we're in, how brutal all you tri swimmers are. I mean, you swim over each other, you push each other down and stuff,
Yeah.
Right now, this period now, until I'm looking at my Progressive wall calendar, probably until, August, September,
Yeah.
October, we're in the swim portion of this thing, So right now the goal is to just get to the other side. The primary goal of your swim portion is to like be alive
Finish.
and
Yes.
on
Get
the other
out.
side.
Be able to ride your bike.
Don't die.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I
And
had some
then
friends that were really, really good swimmers. I wasn't one of them. My goal was get me to my bike. That was it. I just wanted my bike.
and then when you get on the bike, you're not home free because there could be mechanical issues. There
Absolutely.
could be spills, so we figure that the bike portion is going to be the end of Q3 up until Amerimold 2021. That's going to be a period of time that it won't be smooth sailing. Everything's, peachy keen. We're still going to
Yeah.
be, working it. And then from there, mid-year 2021, then the marathon starts. So for us, what's in our minds, so MD&M, NPE,
Yeah.
and then a Miramold, and then the marathon starts, and it's from mid-year 2021 until the K show in Dusseldorf 2022. So we already have product, broad macro 40,000 foot, product plans for the K show in Dusseldorf 2022. That's how we're viewing this thing ahead. It's not going to be a V and then 2 months from now everything is exactly the same. I
Yep.
don't think anybody is thinking that.
So let me ask.
See how I did that? I combined two topics at
You
once.
did. You did. That was awesome. September IMTS. What's your thought? Because I'll tell you, IMTS keeps saying that we're going to have it. It's going to go off. I mean, and then I don't want to be negative. That's not the gist of the show. I'm just trying to be realistic.
Right.
When Pritzker says Illinois could be shut down for 12 to 18 months, I don't know how IMTS can exist.
Well, I mean, it's a show that we walk, and it's a show that we meet up with customers for, but it's not plastics related so much. So we don't exhibit there. It's like only 1 out of 80 attendees applies necessarily. So
yep.
But that said, I just wonder about the exhibitors' financial health to get there, and then the companies opening up the attendees, the companies opening up budgets, and even from a health standpoint, so I don't know. If I'm management by crossing fingers, but if I'm crossing my fingers for something, it's myself. I know there's an MD&M East in Philadelphia that was rescheduled, but I'm crossing my fingers for MD&M in Anaheim. We love that show. We love our roots are in medical, so we love being there for that. And like I said, and I'm on the plastics, you have to say it in all caps, the Plastics Industry Association NPE Sales and Marketing Committee.
Okay.
So Progressive is all in. We've got a 70 by 40 booth right where we want it to be. And we know some things we're going to be landing on from a product development standpoint, but then also from the industry association standpoint, I hope that it's just a roaring show. I think it's a public thing that I would be able to say that, and if not, I'm going to say it. The exhibitor sales, if you will, the exhibitor sales for NPE was strong and matching, and there's still matching previous NPEs, surpassing some, and there's even still to this day people saying, can I still get in for a 10 by 20? So that's good.
That's awesome.
That's what, if there's something for us to cross our fingers for, it would be my opinion, MD&M East, and then a ROC and NPE.
Yep. I think by that time people are going to be begging for the trade shows again. I mean, sometimes you can get overwhelmed with them, but I think after a year and a half of really none, it could be a really, really, really different year for trade shows.
Yeah. And I hope, that exhibitors' health will be good. I think so. Different industry segments. I feel for all the other business owners in town here, the bars, the restaurants, their businesses went from 70 miles an hour on a Friday, March, 14th or something, until and then all of a sudden a screeching halt on the following Monday, and at least our businesses, we all got some runway, so we're all being able to reconfigure, drink a shot. We'll all be able to reconfigure our businesses further, it's a tale of two markets, right?
Totally.
There's medical and packaging, and then there's automotive and appliance. And if you're in medical and packaging, your capacity concern is how to ramp up further your capacity. If you're in automotive, white goods, electronics, your capacity concern is how do I, at least for a portion, reconfigure my capacity for what's needed right now. So we're all doing that right now.
Lindsay Diamond says that SPE did a great job online with their Antec show last month. Did you watch that at all?
Thanks for calling me out. No, Tony, I didn't.
I did not. I did not, and I probably should have, but I didn't.
Yeah, no, I saw that the mold technology, the mold technology division had their program set up. I heard good scuttlebutt afterwards that it went off real well without a hitch.
Yeah.
And we're focused. I think it's interesting. We were asked by, Gardner and mold making technology, to what degree are we going to be progressive,
Yeah.
for the Amerimold show. And then for, we said, well, tell us what you're thinking. And I think they really put together something extremely sharp. And I think it'll allow us all, to converge and meet without having to wear, these things and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look at that. A special progressive mask.
Yeah, we got all sorts of gear. Go to wakandachamber.org and all proceeds go directly to the food pantry. Boom,
And you can get all your swag.
Every 2 weeks, we're dropping off a check for like $7,200 or $8,100, and it's like bam, 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 bam.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, keeps us out of the bars that are closed right now. So
I mean, that's one of the things that I love about you is you always have a I mean, no, I'm not. You always have a passion.
I can hear people's eyes rolling right now. So.
Well, if they're rolling their eyes, they don't believe me. Then they don't know you and they haven't seen you. But like, even at the turkey trot, you're focused on making sure that everybody's taken care of and having a good time. You do it in a way that you're having a good time, but your priority is to make sure that the job is getting done correctly and everybody there is having a good time.
Tony, you and I are standing on the shoulders of giants. I go back many years with your dad. You didn't get a chance to meet, my dad when he was around, but my mom and dad and your mom, Karen, so we're just the product. I'm a pale imitation of Don Starkey Sr., so just try to, just work our jobs, and our roles and have a fun time doing it. So. But I like great. That, you're quite an influencer. You think of what you're doing to just stretch people's synapses, with this is completely out of the box. This didn't exist, you kook you. And then Christina Fuges, we go all the way back to, mold making technologies, first issue. Troy Nix, gets a room full of mold builders, a room full of molders, but we're all just standing, on the shoulders of giants and just trying to take it to that next step, So.
I love how we're building on it though, and not standing still. I think, Hillary and I have talked about this a few times, that even with whatever's going on right now, it's going to make us all better long-term.
Yep.
Because you're finding time to invest in your business and do these new things. I'm doing this crazy little thing where we get to talk to random people, whatever. It's fun. It's something different. If this wasn't going on, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be having this conversation with you.
I'd be eating my Campbell's chicken noodle soup at my desk and just an email and stuff.
Plugging along. Yeah. I reached out to Rachel. I'm trying to get Troy on here to see if Troy will come and do a little thing, but I know he's really, really busy, so I'm not holding my breath. But doesn't hurt to ask, right?
Yeah, no, Troy. I knew of Troy when, through his work in MAP. And then when I, caught wind that he was going to be getting involved with the AMBA, and no disrespect to the AMBA past it all, but, Troy and his team is just what I would tell folks is that, remember that scene in Pulp Fiction where Uma Thurman gets a shot of adrenaline to the heart?
Yes.
That's Troy Nix and his team arriving at the AMBA. Boom, and that's exactly, it was a real shot of energy. And so, yeah, between just you and a few folks, we're just getting together with more positivity and sharing best practices. So, but Chicago, I want to touch on something on the AMBA as long as we're talking about it.
Yeah, go.
Chicago is where the AMBA, formed. You've got, the old schoolers that I was able to actually know, Jack Owens, Jr. and Senior, Art Dashett, Rich Moeller, Ovar Bradley, Jeanette Bradley ran the AMBA then for years with Carol Holland, Tim Holland's mom. So, John Holland's wife. So, we've just got, so many folks that from the Chicago area, that the old schoolers that, your dad was out of that era, knows
Absolutely.
everybody that I just named, and then we've got the generation, the new kids. You got the old school and the new school. And then I feel lucky because I kind of bridge it, because I know those Phil Denemark and even Jim Atols and stuff. But these guys that formed that trade group, and now this is not your father's AMBA. Now the new generation is thinking processes,
Yeah.
positioning in the marketplace, and it's really just exciting to see how dynamic our trade groups are.
And you still have Chuck Klingler right in the middle of all of it. So like bridging that gap.
Yeah, his official title is ambassador. So Jandler Corporation. Yeah, I was a Jandler. I was a kid at Jandler, 22, 23 years old, designing molds for Abbott and Baxter and everything. And Jandler, actually, Ralph Klingler from Jandler said to my dad in 1987, well, if you're going to have some, side locks, play up the differential steels, tin coat one, black oxide the other. And, that whole black and gold thing of ours was
So that was from
advice
Jandler.
from Ralph Klingler. Later on, he's like, yeah, I think you owe me a boat ride. It's like, we probably owe you a boat, so, but now you could go to a trade show in Suzhou, China, and there's like rows of exhibitors and it's like black and gold locks. And it's just like, that came from at Progressive. We've got a nostalgia room upstairs that has all of our old
It's very cool
ads, all of our old calendars, and the shovel at the groundbreaking and all that stuff.
Yep.
I was thinking of even maybe of doing this call up there, but one of the things we have up there is the first blueprint of the first black and gold lock and stuff. So geeky, nerdy tooling enthusiast sort of stuff.
But I think that stuff is so cool. I think the history of the companies is so cool because you didn't knock it off from somewhere else. Like you said, you look at the China exhibits and it's all the same colors.
Right.
Well, you were the first with it. It's so cool to look at that stuff. When we were doing some of our Throwback Thursday pictures, because this is our 40th anniversary, and just going through like
that's cool.
The old Polaroids of our jobs, and seeing, that's how we tracked them and how cool all that stuff is. I remember in high school, because we didn't have the cameras to take the pictures, one of my jobs was after school, I had to come in and draw the parts. And that was like, that's what we worked on. Make sure you draw it well so we can track it.
Don't you wish we took more pictures? I am so mad.
Yeah.
I wish I would have saved my first NPE. I walked my first NPE in 1985, which is weird because I'm only 46. But I walked my first NPE in 1985. And and then I walked it in 85. I worked it in 88, and it's like, why didn't I save those badges? And I wish I just would have saved them. And now it's like, what's the point of starting to save trade show badges now? So
you're never going to cover your wall now, or you might.
No. Nah.
But even, it wasn't, nobody thought of it. Like for our 40th anniversary, I went back and I asked my mom, I was like, do we have any pictures of the shop or like people working or whatever from like when it first started, the garages, Franklin Park, Melrose Park, all that stuff? And like, no, we didn't take pictures. We went to work. Like,
I know
marketing wasn't a thing. We just went to work. We got the work. We did the work. And now it's, unfortunately, we don't have pictures to go along with it. Now we have more pictures than we know what to do with.
Well, yeah, I know, but then we still don't do anything with them. Our phones are filled with them, but you don't have a photo album to be able to go over. But that's life. I'd say if anybody's in, I wish we would have taken more pictures. If anybody's like in our town, if anybody's in Wakanda to like see a laser engraver by you guys or anything like that, give us a shout and we'll take it. 224-627-2477. That's my mobile number. And then I will show you our nostalgia room. At one point years back, maybe 8 or 10 years ago, I'm bad at remembering that sort of thing. We had all these boxes that said like on the side, do not throw away. Do not throw away, because we just had junk in it, and then it's like, well, let's do something with that junk. So we formed a nostalgia room, and it's good for when you're recruiting and you're on the second or third interview with somebody and you sense that they're kind of special, and they'll get your act, they'll get who you are. So then we'll say, here, let's show you something. We go upstairs in our mezz and we show our nostalgia room, and then they're just like, I've never seen anything like that, And then also if they are so privileged. No, if they do become a pro comper, then that's part of the orientation. Then we walk through our background. They have to know
Okay.
our founding principles, you know. And then also once in a while on a Friday, it's a good place to have a beer. So
That's, when we did our conference room, it was after I saw your nostalgia room, and it made me think like, wow, we need to capture some of the history from the things that we've done. And that's why I love our conference room upstairs. It's like our fortress of solitude. I
it's
tell
slick.
people like, this is where we handle our issues, right? Everybody come up, we can talk about whatever we need to talk about. Let's hammer it out. Let's get it done. And it's comforting, it's welcoming. It's got the history on the back. It's got articles that we've
It's
been in.
important.
Yeah, because I want to show that stuff off. I mean,
Yep.
that's what makes us who we are. So we have a potential customer come in and they can read the articles, they can see what's going on, and we actually have a space where we can do presentations now. It's great.
Speaking of presentations, so it's been fun
Yeah.
prepping for you in the green room. When does this go live? Does it go live at noon? When are people going to be tuning in?
We've got people. I mean, I got to tell you, this is the most live people we've had.
When is this thing going to be on?
Yeah, they're hearing you. James Williams says, I may have missed it in the beginning, but what exactly happens at the Progressive Components facility in Wakanda?
Oh,
He just kind of teed that one up for you.
welcome to the asylum. Let's see. I'd say that Progressive Components overall is a manufacturer in every way except for one aspect. We actually don't make the product. Because we've got such a divergent product line. We wouldn't be able to manufacture every single thing. But we're a manufacturer where we can conceive of the product, we design it, sometimes we'll patent it. We'll develop suppliers for it, and then they'll manufacture it, because then that way we've got limitless capacity through them. We have tight relationships with our suppliers. We're their number one or number two customer.
Yep.
And then the product comes in here, it goes in a red box, it's got our name on it, we're not a distributor, it's ours, and we support it all the way through. We market it, we sell it, we support it. It's our baby. So what do we do here? It's our HQ. So we've got our typically we would have our exec team, our senior leaders based out of here. But then also, engineering, inside salespeople on the road, and probably about 2/3 of the building is, warehouse, and it's our largest warehouse. And then we also have inventory in South Carolina, California, Portugal, and Singapore. So I hope that didn't over answer the question. That's what we do here. We design stuff up, and we do everything we can to get the stuff that we designed up in as many injection molds as possible,
and getting it out quick. I mean,
yeah, it's a great. I mean, we're really lucky. It's a good team. So just like yours. I mean, it's culture is the whole enchilada. So
absolutely. We wrote a blog post the other day about how you can have the greatest equipment, the greatest facility, the coolest trucks, the best whatever, but if you don't have the right people, none of it matters. You just got cool stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not going to succeed.
I like that I could get, hit by a bus tomorrow. Don and I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. And
I hope that doesn't happen, for the record.
Me too. I got a story about okay, you know how they say like, well, put it this way, if Don and I got hit by a bus tomorrow, Star Charities would still go on. We've got a good product development team. Maybe things would be a little less kooky. The jams at NPEs wouldn't be as awesome, but we've got a good team. And a little story about Don and I getting hit by a bus. How they say, like, if there's, we're 50-50 owners, okay? And we've got a 3-person board in case we need a tiebreaker, but we really never do. And we shouldn't be flying together, is what somebody would say. It's like, you shouldn't be flying together, right?
Okay.
So sometimes we just, sometimes we are, but other times it's just like, I'm at the airport, Don's getting on one flight because it's routing in one way, I'm getting on another flight because it's routing another way. So we always look at each other. So we say, well, if one of these planes goes down, I hope it's mine, because I want, you can deal with that other half of the business, Okay, so we're talking about Don and Glenn perishing. Anything else we want to check off?
Listen, I can't believe that that's the thing that people are worried about. If the plane goes down, you both can't be in the same one at the same time.
Yeah, well, it's not worried about it, but it's just a good joke from the airport bar, you know.
Yeah. No, I got you. Who's this? Wayne Sikorson says, how much?
I don't make
Yeah,
sure that
I
that's
had to
not
read it first.
R-rated. Make
Yeah,
sure, is this a family show? Is this a family show?
I had to read it first. How much did your beautiful wife, Linda, help build Progressive?
That's I've got
You're
two
going to make
great
him
partners.
cry, Wayne.
I got two great partners. One is Don and the other is Linda. Wayne and I have an ongoing joke of just like, you can say whatever you want about us, but we married up. So, you know, so,
Agreed. Agreed.
um, but no, Linda's awesome and was really on uh, raising our three kids who are all like, you know,
Yeah.
grown and on their own. And so if anything, she would just serve beers to Wayne at NPEs and such, but not involved in the business per se, but just once in a while, you know, helping out. I did receive from a
While you're
friend of
looking for
mine.
that, I will say though, Linda does an awesome job at those booths because it's that happy, smiling, welcoming face
She
that brings you into
she's
Progressive.
the bouncer. She's the
Yeah.
bouncer. If somebody is like sells like some auxiliary equipment to extruders and they're in a beer line, she's just like, man, what's your role with Progressive? So, but I will say, I'm still on Wayne's question. A customer of mine mailed me this postcard, which this is from 1992.
Wow.
And when I see the label that's affixed at an angle, it's just like Lynn and I were in the basement of our house learning how to do bulk rate mailings. And so, yeah, you know, a little bit of help and support, but that's, you know, that's all part of it. But
Scott Peters is on Facebook and he said
Scott Peters.
it's called good succession planning.
Okay, that's cool. Scott Peters goes way back. My dad was an apprentice with Scott's dad, so a million years ago. So that's the thing about this trade, you know. It's just like it's interconnected, you know. So
Totally. And Charles Daniels, who'll be on tomorrow, said that it's designated survivor progressive edition.
that's a brain full to process. So
That's Charles. Wait till you hear from him tomorrow. That's,
hi Wayno, and Wayno's got his shop running like a top. If you're a mold building company,
yeah.
and you want to see how Craftsman is just, I mean, paperless, running like a top, young, engaged workforce. He's got a system that Craftsman will sell for a mold shop to be running it like a top, and he already had all the pains and sleepless nights and, you know, struggles to have it functioning at his place. And now that thing's done, why reinvent the wheel? So
And so Wayne, if you want to get on Chat and Chow later in June, let me know and we'll have a good conversation.
you could charge a cover charge for that. That would
I
be,
I might have to change the rating scale
you
and
might have
add
to
some.
bleep
Yes.
stuff.
I've heard that dude say stuff to people at a trade show that I did not know was okay to do, and only he could pull it off.
Now, some of you guys, some of you folks know this, and I hope you're not rolling your eyes, but my dad and Wayne Sikorson's dad worked together as apprentices, and my dad was a groomsman in Wayne Sikorson's dad's wedding and stuff. And it's weird because I got to know Tony Sikorson, the founder of Craftsman. He was selling mold bases to us at Chandler, you know, so I got to know him from talking across the design board, you know, and really got to know and like him. I mean, you know, and then I didn't work with Tony. I didn't work with Wayne or know Wayne or anything until like 20 years later or something, right?
Yeah.
And then there was no mix up at the hospital. Wayne Sikorson is Tony Sikorson's son, you know. And it's weird now. I thought of this over the weekend where here I had a dialogue with, you know, a rapport with Tony Sikorson, and now I'm friends with Wayne Sikorson, and I'm realizing that I met Tony Sikorson when I was at Chandler, so that means like 32 years ago. He was when I met Tony Sikorson, he was probably 58, 59, or 57, 56, he's about Wayne's age now. And that's so weird that I was like, and now we're just best friends. I don't know if that came out right, but it's weird. It's a weird interconnected sort of thing that we got going. And it's all about new, new relationships too, so it's not just like an old boys club,
Right.
there's new folks coming in, or, people coming into the trade from, different directions.
Well,
And
me, right? I'm
that adds,
4 years in.
something to it. That adds something to it,
I'm 4 years in. My dad's been in it forever, but that doesn't have anything to do with me. I mean,
You weren't raised, and my brother Don and I, so the company was D&L Incorporated, Don and Lois. I think my mom is watching. I think our mom is watching. And we weren't like raised for this or groomed for this.
right.
When I told my dad I was going to be a mold maker, he was just like, I sold my tools. That was the last thing I thought that, any of the kids were going into. But then we just didn't. We never worked for Dad. We bought him out 30 years ago last month, and began our progressive adventure. But 3 years before that was D&L, Don and Lois, as Scott Peters knows.
Yeah, I like Scott. Scott's an intimidating dude, though. I mean, he's huge.
I know, he's like 6'7", and then he's like not shy, so.
Yeah, he walks up and he looks at the laser welder. He's like, I can't work at this. It's too small. It's like, oh, what do you want me to do? I can't.
Scott Peters. So here, as kids, we went over to their house and everything, and we were dragged over to our house, all that stuff. We're family friends, right? But I bumped into, it's a small world, and he was in on the SP mold making division, of course, and was chaired it and kept it going with Wayne Hertline and such. But at one point, he was in China, like for, I don't know, Scott, how many years were you in China full time? And I was in like Guangzhou or something, or Shenzhen, walking with Scott Peters through like, food court, where he is like twice as tall as everybody else in that food court, and he's speaking perfect Mandarin, and it was just like surreal. He's ordering in Mandarin and twisting the knife and making a point with the person taking the order and such, so yes, it's, I don't know if you could handle him on your show. If so, he'd be like this, and by the way, progressive strong.
Look at that. You did that like Superman too. just
we got so much gear that
buttons everywhere.
Everything goes to the food pantry.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And by the way, I'm glad you can't see my desk. It's just like,
yeah, mine too. It's not good.
This is my thought. It's kind of like an artist has their palette. Right here. They don't keep their red paint in a drawer and then their blue paint in another drawer. It's like, you want to keep it,
because then you're just going to have to go get it.
Yeah. And then by the time it's like,
I generally know where my stuff is. I mean, I know what this pile is. I know what this pile is. And the stuff I need right away is right in the middle.
The only time I get screwed up is that when I come in on a Saturday and I'm just like, oh, damn, I'm going to clean this thing up and stuff. And I clean and I file, and then I can't find anything for 2 weeks, so
that's the worst. So we are having our golf outing this year. We decided we're going to push forward with it. It's going to be in September 25th.
Nice segue.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about the food pantry and everything else.
No, let's rock. What's your golf outing going to be?
We're not sure where the money's going to go yet, to be honest, because we want to see. I
got an idea.
I know you do. We want to see where the needs are and address the needs, because, in years past, it's been all about the military, whether it was iWarriors or Operation Homefront, both great things. But with everything going on COVID, we want to see where that need is going to be come around, August, September. You're going to show me something.
Me?
Yeah, you're making a paper airplane there or something.
Prepping a prop, or me?
Yeah.
I hope we get in some golf outings and such. That's we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You mentioned iWarriors, Kim and Tim Bartz, a couple of the
most
awesomest people you'll ever happen across in our industry or anywhere. started iWarriors, and they successfully, sold their shop and successfully are
Yep. Yep.
retired, which is like,
Good for them.
I don't know if we're ever going to, but good for them,
Yeah.
And then my last NP is 2039, and then what they did is they were getting ready to wind down iWarriors, and then we're real connected with them. We've done ice letters, snowmobile trips with them, and we say no, let's not wind that down. So Star Charities, Progressive's 501c3, kind of it changed hands. iWarriors changed hands to our nonprofit. And so now, typically, iWarriors would be raising money for, through, well, first I'll say, it would raise money for iPads,
Yep.
for wounded vets, especially PTSD, so that they can have a visual of their calendar, have certain apps like games and such that are, developmental, apps. But golf outings aren't a way that in the first half of this year anyway we can raise funds. So I'm really appreciative to Mold Making Technology, because they give space. They're a partner in all of this, and we're looking forward to. We've concocted. We're nothing if not creative. We've concocted a way that I think that the AMBA members who've been awesome supporters of iWarriors will be able to have some fun and help us all raise money for these vets, because that's the thing that nobody's talking about right now. You're not going to turn on any cable news and find anybody talking about our vets that gave their all and get nothing when it's all said and done. So that's stay tuned on that. We're reconfiguring. Drink a shot. We're reconfiguring how iWarriors is going to be raising money for iPads for vets. So
and Big Scotty just chimed in. Thanks for that.
Oh, Big Scotty. Hi, Big Scotty. Have you had Big Scotty on?
Not yet. We're nailing down a date.
You need to invest in sensor technology, and not with an S, with a C sensor.
Not only sensor technology, but we're gonna have to book the day out.
Yeah,
that's gonna be like.
Yeah,
listen,
I'm giving you the progressive bump. I'm giving you the progressive bump. Now everybody's going to want to be. Everybody's going to want to be having a chow with you.
I hope so. That's a good goal. I mean, that's a good goal. And when Hillary was on last time, we just kept mentioning other companies, like just different shout outs, whatever. I mean, because that's what I've noticed most about the industry coming into it late, 4 years ago, is most companies want to see you succeed. It's not the attitude of, I got to look out for just me. They're looking out for everybody to make sure that those companies are succeeding. They want to help you out. They want to do what is going to be good for Progressive or for Alliance or for, Webco or like you were mentioning, Wayne, right? It's not about getting something from it. It's just about all of us getting better and stronger and keeping the industry going forward so that we can keep this going for a long time to come.
I have a theory about that. Do you want to hear about it?
I do. I want to hear your theory.
Now, for those tuning in, we'll be done with this little soiree by around 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, right? So
just whenever you want to tune out, you can probably come back and pick right back up.
We'll still be shaving and stuff. So no.
Going to go right into Charles tomorrow. We're just going to go right into it. I'm going to hang up with you and just go right into Charles.
Be like a marathon, So no. I have a theory. We feel that mold people are nice people. We've got somebody from our company, Sue Salato. What does she do for a living? She's been here for a gazillion years. She collects from mold shops.
Okay. All right.
And she'll be the first to say, because that could be a tough job. You could be the bad cop coming in and saying, totally. Where are we at with this, right? And she goes, mold people are such nice people, and our customer service, we'll have somebody start in customer service that has worked other customer service jobs. And then they'll say, like, at their 90-day eval or something, we do a 30, 60, 90 onboard thing, and they'll say, our customers are so nice, So I have a theory about that. Here it is. You've got a mold that's like this by this by this. You've got this cube, right?
Yep.
And there's a zillion tolerances that have to be held in order to properly build that mold. And even you have to be, you can't have stress in your plates or your pins and bushings are going to be off and everything. There's so many considerations just to build that mold. And then somebody takes that perfectly smooth, functioning mold on the bench, and they have the nerve to put it in a molding machine and shoot plastic through it, which then has, outgases, and it has platen sag, and it has all these external forces. Then if you're molding PVC, hydrochloric acid is just going to erode its stuff and everything. So you've got all these variables and all these things that can go wrong with this cube that's this by this by this, and if somebody were in the mold biz and if they were a negative finger pointing sort of person, I think they'd be expunged from the organism over time. They don't belong, because we all, when there's a problem, it's not like you can just, hammer somebody about like, how they messed up, because you messed up 2 jobs ago. And if you didn't, you're going to mess up 2 jobs from now, so everybody's got to be cool, so I think that's my theory as to why mold people are nice, because otherwise, they would have been filtered out of this thing.
And if they were that stressed out, they would have stroked out a long time ago too, because it's a stressful industry. There's a lot that can go wrong. And like you said, you got to keep those tolerances right on for a lot of projects.
Yeah. Well, if you know it going in, I had my first foreman said, I haven't seen a mold yet that now this is like 1982, even though I'm 37. But I haven't seen a mold yet go through without a single, I don't want to say oopsie, but
issue. We'll call it issue.
Yeah. Keeps welders alive,
That's right. We listen, I'm not saying I hope people mess up jobs, but if you do, we'll get it back to you right away and you can keep working.
Little story. I'm on a roll. No, my dad was a mold buyer and a mold seller in the 70s. And he told a story. He'd be walking through a small shop, 15-man shop. He's walking through a shop with the owner, and he's wearing a suit. And, we all know, everybody in the shop knows customers are here today, so everything's a little cleaner and everything, right? And he was walking past, and this apprentice at a Bridgeport, you could just hear like a quarter 20 tap crunch. And he was just right when he was walking past. You could hear the tap crunch. And then he stopped, and the kid feels terrible, right? That was the worst thing that could happen, So then my dad stops, turns around, goes up to him and says, hey, if you've never broken a tap, you've never tapped a hole. So yeah, stressful. I don't know. It all depends on how you.
Well, it depends on the leadership.
You don't invite problems, but
you
don't invite problems, but when one comes up, you say, how am I going to get out of this thing?
Yeah. Dave Parmalee, when I talked to him from WEPCO, he was talking about training people, and he had a kid that messed something up, and he was all freaked out about messing up the block. And Dave just said, okay, go get another piece of aluminum and do it again. What did you learn from it? All right, let's hope that doesn't happen again. Let's process what happened and, get better about it. But mistakes are going to happen. Accidents are going to happen. You can't kill somebody about it.
When I was working at Tripar running their CNC machine, and I took a 5/8 diameter roughing end mill, and I forgot about that G code to get it out of the pocket before I sent it back home. And it headed right for the pocket wall. That 5/8 diameter end mill shot. I'm lucky it went that way. It shot, and it hit the door to Bill Plazinski's office. I'm not kidding. It hit the door. Boom, they come out, and it's just like, I don't know. I was a so-so mold maker and an impatient mold designer. So I figured standardization is key. Let's make molds plug and play. But whenever I see Bill Plazinski or Wayne Grassel or anybody from Tripar, it's just like we reminisce about that missile-like trajectory of a 5/8 roughing end mill.
Scott Peters says, I remember as a junior designing at a hobby company on the north side of Chicago when one of our mold making suppliers delivered a new tool. I was hung and shot. Number one was taken. I don't know what that means. Do you know what I'm just going to read it. I was hung and shot number 1 was taken. The mold
The
opened and
mold was hung.
all the
It was hung.
cavities.
It was hung.
Yeah. Okay. He forgot a T.
Yeah, that's an important.
That's a different, because Scott,
It's
you're
a
a
whole
big
different
guy.
meaning now.
You're a big guy. It was hung. It was
Wayne
hung.
Sikorsson is saying, I can't believe that Tony went there. So
It was hung and shot number 1 was taken. The mold
my mom is
opened and
listening.
all the cavities fell into the bottom of the press. The molding superintendent looked at the mold maker and said, looks like your apprentice forgot the screws.
Well, we've all got some of those. I had heard it, years before I was at this one shop that somebody had built a mold for like a hearing uh, device, and they built by mistake. They built like a left hand versus a right hand.
Oh boy.
And it went through design, it went through build, it went through sampling, and then they shipped the parts to the mold. They shipped the parts to the customer, and the customer said, "Oh, it's perfect except for one thing. It's the opposite of what we wanted." And then that's why, well, anybody in design knows, you've got the designer and the checker. So the designer is supposed to work fast on a mold design, and then the checker is supposed to assume that there might be this mega oops.
Yeah, totally.
Are we shooting the wrong material in with different shrinkage? And so yeah, everybody knows of one of these holy cow, that's a bad thing type of things. But that's why we're still standing.
That's right. And
everybody's got those. We could go on forever.
It happens in anything. When I was doing graphic design, I mean, you think you prove something a million times, but one word gets through, or, here, funny story. I did all the artwork on the vans. You'll see the Alliance vans driving around. And so I put the phone number on there, and then Dougie was like, why is your phone number on the back of the van? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, your cell phone number's on the back of all the vans. I was like, oh, oops. Because I put the phone number and didn't think about it, which I got phone calls about erratic driving from one of our drivers. That driver's no longer here because my cell phone number was on the back. So I was glad that I was, because we were able to fix that situation. But,
well, similar to that broken tap story, if you haven't, broken a tap, you haven't tapped a hole, well, same thing. Like if so many times, we'll design up a newsletter or something.
Yeah.
And, you've been looking at it, and, a couple of people have looked at it, and then you get these things printed, and then you get the printed pieces in, and then you're like, so happy, so proud, and you're looking at it, and then you catch a typo because it's the first time you're reading it as a reader.
Yes.
So we try to, I think it's few and far between now that anything, slips past us, but hey, it's a nature of the beast.
My dad said, because I kept making so many mistakes, I'll just be honest. He goes, we should just have a competition and run with it. Point out our mistakes to us in our ads and our calendar, and we'll give you money off. I was like, thank you. Thank you very much. So we have successfully crossed the hour mark.
Wow.
That's fine with, I mean, I like talking to you, but I don't want to take your whole day.
Well, yeah, we have to, right now, productivity in the American mold building industry has ground to a halt, because everybody is just, waiting with bated breath to see what, you and I will be talking about. So we should probably allow those wheels of commerce to once again spin in the direction that will manufacture our way out of this thing that we're in.
I would agree with that, but real quick, typically what we do, Glenn, is we do a quick little prayer at the end, because I think right now more than ever people need some prayer and some positivity in their lives.
I'm glad that we're able to be, schlepping and jiving and having some fun, but then we're doing our jobs for the manufacturers that are making test kits, et cetera, and COVID-related tooling. You got to feel for the frontliners then, but then especially then those on the front line of our healthcare workers. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but a lot of folks know pro comper Patrick Fleming. His wife Mo is just an angel, and she's on the front lines as a nurse. And it's you can't say enough for those folks who have been like undersupplied, but then they're working 14-hour shifts and sleeping in the garage, or just it's just terrible. So yes, I agree that they deserve our love, attention, and prayers.
if anybody listening has a quick prayer request and you want to type that out, I'm going to go over our quick upcoming shows
Look
today.
at you.
Well, I
You
got
afford a new pair of jeans. That's what your mom
no,
Karen is.
those are my ridiculous pants. I tried those on at Savers because I saw them, and every time I see somebody with pants like that, I think, how do you put them on? Because my foot would get stuck in every single hole, and it did. And I just think they're completely ridiculous. And this
Okay, it was a
show,
passing comment. I didn't want to do a deep dive on your jeans, you know.
well, the show is ridiculously informative and positive conversation. So that's why those pants are there. I hope it makes you smile a little bit.
I can't wait until Exceed. I mean, every one of these I'm catching, but I can't wait. Camille is awesome. Her and I are on a committee together for some standards, but yeah, it's fun stuff.
And then I just found out that Mark Densler from the Illinois Manufacturing Association is going to
IMA.
join us on June 11th. So add that to this list of people. I'm excited to talk with him because he was so awesome when all this stuff first broke, and keeping us in the loop as manufacturers about what to expect, and helping to keep us essential for businesses so that we could keep running and working and everything else. So I really, really appreciate everything that he's done for, our company alone, much less everybody else. So
Associations are stepping up.
they are. All right. Well, nobody else has typed anything. So I'm just going to start and say, Heavenly Father, thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching over all of our frontline workers, all of our police, all of our doctors, all of our nurses, emergency technicians, ambulances, fire people, everything, everybody that's taking care of other people and putting their health at risk to worry about others. They're doing your work literally. Thank you for just the wisdom to run businesses and take care of people in the right way. And we pray that we all have wisdom, from the president to the governors to anybody that's in charge of other people in their lives. We thank you for everything that we have. We know that it's from you and we can't do it without you. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Send good vibes, send prayers, send tools that will make the supplies that are needed. And we're going to manufacture our way out of this. That's all there is to it.
We will. And I think we're well on the way now. I have big hopes for the future based on all of this. And I think we got a lot of things to be positive for going forward. And I think if we start talking again, we're going to go on to hour 2. So I am going to say thank you for this hour and change, my friend. And I think we should do it again, because I think we still have a lot of other things to talk about. Maybe we'll do an update down the road. Yeah. If you need a mask, you can go to
WakandaChamber.org, and there's all sorts of swag.
Yeah, all sorts of swag there. Or if you want a mask of yourself but happy, you can send an email to getahappymask@gmail.com. We have created masks that are your face smiling, so that when you go out in public, you can continue smiling at everybody else around you and not look like some non-talented ninja.
I don't want to.
You smile at everybody.
I want to see my face. So
you love smiling.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's smile our way out of here, Tony.
Yeah. Thank you for everything. And until next time, take care and God bless.